Hello, thanks for joining us. You are on to Issues and Society. Issues and Society is a program that discusses contemporary issues as it affects our day-to-day activities, both at the national and the local level. Today on the program, we're taking an overview look at the state of the nation. And with us on the program, it's a man with many hats, a one-time Minister of Communication. Who are we talking about? We're talking about Dr. Abdur-Raheed Adebayo Shittu. Join us again after the break.
With an ever-evolving society, there are everyday issues in the marketplace, in government, in our social lives, even in our homes. Issues and Society brings these happenings to you. Join us on this station. For sponsorship and advert placement, please call 081 100 00712, or better still, follow us on our social media handles. Have one Nigerian who has carved a niche for himself in several strata of the Nigerian economy, and he has done so much. With us on the program is no other person than Dr. Abdur-Raheed Shittu Adebayo, one-time Minister of Communications and the chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, APC. So it's indeed a pleasure having you on our program, sir.
Thank you for having me. Just by way of a little observation, I am Abdur-Raheed Adebayo Shittu, not Shittu Adebayo, because Shittu is the surname.
Oh, okay.
Adebayo is the middle name.
Sorry about that, sir. Now, I need also to tell us a bit about yourself. Since you left government, what has, let me use the word, what has Shittu been up to since?
Well, I have no apology to say that I am a professional politician. That is notwithstanding the fact that I'm also a lawyer. I've been practicing law for 43 years. So apart from that, I also operate 4 different schools, 2 secondary schools and 2 primary schools. Again, I have written 8 books on Islam, my religion. So for me, there's no dull moment. Consistently, I've been in politics, and by the grace of God, I'll continue to be relevant and to be active in politics, because I think politics is the most important job anybody can do. Of course, there are good politicians and there are bad politicians. There are politicians who have ideas to add value to society, and there are people who are just mere jobbers. They just come in because they don't have any other thing doing. My own situation is not like that. I have other things to do. I've trained people who have become judges and magistrates and all of that. And, but like I said, politics is the one job which is capable, if properly applied, of transforming society.
Now we're going to come back to politics, but let me take you on education. You are one of the stakeholders in the sector. ASU federal government, 6 months down the line, story still the same. What is your take on this?
We should really ask our lecturers, why are private schools running when salaries are not as much as government salaries? And why are Nigerian government-owned universities not running? It looks to me like they are looking for a utopia, which in our circumstances in Nigeria, we cannot have it now. So for me, it must not be a situation where the federal government is held hostage all of the time. Government has been doing the best it can. There's no sector of the Nigerian society that has a perfect situation. Even people in government have their own very serious challenges. As of today, the greatest challenge is getting appropriate funds to utilize for not just education alone, for health, for agri, for housing, for roads and infrastructure, and for all of that.
Now let's come to your turf, which is
politics. After the primaries, the APC primaries, you had a whole lot of agreed members. Even you yourself, you're one of them, and a whole lot of activities have overtaken such event. And now we are looking forward to the main play in politics. Can you tell us your role and what is it for you? As a chief
What is in for me? What is in for me cannot be the most important thing. what is it in for me, if you want to know, is for us to have an election which will be free, fair, and transparent and acceptable, and for my party's presidential candidate to win. I mean, I have taken on the role of a chief campaigner for Asiwaju Tinubu. I want to re-emphasize this. A lot of people, find it difficult to believe that I had never been an Asiwaju person. And evidence of that is that I was never an AD, which he founded originally. I was never an AC, I was never an ACN. But when the chiefs were down and people came out aspiring for the presidency, I just put all of them on a scale and determined that if I have a company which I establish and I want to recruit management staff, I will go for the best. I will go for the most experienced, the most educated, the most dynamic, and the one who I have assurance of a testimonial which assures that there would be competence. And I found that Asiwaju Tinubu does not have any equal. I mean, the gap between him and the next person was just too wide to be ignored. So I put all the emotions, all past sentiments aside and went for him. I started campaigning for him and so on, and then, then I became, Director General of an organization which was committed to working, assiduously to get him elected for the greater interests of Nigeria.
Now, when you remove the Asiwaju factor from APC, he's somebody who has, over time, affected lives in different strata. And now you look at the party APC and the ongoings in the Nigerian play. How do you marry that? The economy of the country is totally in a red.
That's more reason why you need a better manager.
And you look at the figure in His Excellency Asiwaju Tinubu. How is he going to convince Nigerians to still stick with this same party that has run this country down?
Well, it will be most uncharitable to say our party has run the country down. Our party is not the only party managing states in Nigeria. Unless you can say that the situation in all other states being controlled by other parties are an El Dorado, and that it is only in APC states that you have seeming crisis. Other than that, there's no way you can say that our party grounded. Nigeria had actually been grounded before we came in as a party. And it was because Nigerians regarded our party as a rescue force. That was why we were voted in. And there has been a lot of transformation, even if some people choose to ignore them. I recall, as somebody who had been in government, that in the last budget of PDP on federal roads was 19 billion. All federal roads in Nigeria. I challenge anybody to tell me if 1 kobo out of that 19 billion was ever spent on any road during the last budget of the last president. The monies were shared, were put on table and shared. And that was the practice of the PDP government. The first year's budget of our government, APC government, instead of 19 billion naira which were shared, we spent 265 billion on federal roads. And that is why you see that Lagos Ibadan Expressway, for instance, work was resumed after more than 10 years. Lagos Sango Abeokuta Road work resumed. Oyo, Ogbomoso, Ilorin work resumed after more than 10 years. And you can't, and then of course we set up so many new universities. And we introduce, poverty grants to youths, to women, market women, agri sector. In agri alone, because of our action of banning, rice in order to encourage local production, 12 new rice farmers emerged, and today we are self-sufficient in rice. Rice is the most stable of foods we eat in this country. And unless, government ensured that, importation of rice became a thing of the past to such an extent that the countries which were exporting rice to Nigeria came to Nigeria to beg that we should allow them to set up processing factories for rice.
But with that, all that, rice is still very expensive.
So do you blame government? Is it the government which is growing rice and which is making it the price?
Who takes the blame, sir?
It is the farmers. It is Nigerians who are very greedy, who are self-centered, who will take advantage of every government opportunity to exploit fellow Nigerians. I mean, today, the cost of pepper has gone up. Is that the fault of government? Is it government which is the farmer of pepper, of tomato, it is the greed. It is, and that greed is called the Nigerian factor. Whenever you give opportunity to a Nigerian, he would exploit it and use it to oppress fellow Nigerians. So that's the problem. We must talk to ourselves. Perhaps we should go back to God by way of encouraging religious leaders and preachers. What is the point in going to church every day, going to mosque, when you remain in the state of religiosity without godliness?
But some of these farmers, allude these high costs, to them getting access to their farms based on the level of insecurity. It's
government because of insecurity. Remember that criminals don't notice when they want to perpetrate their criminality. So again, it's another Nigerian factor at play.
And so what will Asiwaju be doing differently to surmount all these?
Well, I do not want to create a situation of comparison. Comparison now. Asiwaju knows what he's going to do. I know some of the things that he must do.
It's the same APC party.
By the case of APC, is just a platform to bring in political actors. APC is not one man. It's not one tribe. It's not one religion. APC is an agglomeration of several individuals. I recall also that in the Nigerian situation, a man could be in APC today. Tomorrow is another party because of indiscipline and corruption and all of that. And so, Nigerian political parties are associations of free joiners and free leavers.
Now you are the DG of the campaign group. Can you tell us about this group and what the group is for?
This group was established, as of today, it has a membership of about 300 different organizations. Apart from the more than 300 support groups, on a daily basis, every minute, my phone keeps buzzing. Because people, it is as if getting involved in our activity, in our work to get Asiwaju Tinubu to become president, to so many people, it is like they are struggling to get tickets for paradise.
And you think, with the clamor for, a whole lot of people feel that, maybe Asiwaju, His Excellency, is a bit old, and
what is his age? What is his age?
And time,
What is the age? What is it? Do you know his age?
Going by, you are closer to him.
Asiwaju is only 1 year older than me. As I said, I'm 69. So would you say that I'm getting old to become president? I mean, it doesn't make sense. You know, it's a baseless argument. You see, in Nigeria, maybe in some other poorer countries, when people know that on merit you are better than them, they look for, you know, very subjective things to try to create doubt in the mind of people. For those who drink wine, they will tell you the older the wine, the more quality it is.
Now, when you said about APC, you look at the other parties, PDP, you look at the Labour Party, you look at the fourth force, as it were, the NN.
Kwankwaso.
Yes.
There's none of the four who is not above 60 years old.
No. My question to you, sir, is of all those parties, who poses that threat more to APC?
Honestly, I don't see it. I mean, you see, the election is not going to be merriment. It's not going to be, you know, one on issues of fancy. It's not going to be one on the basis of fancy. It's going to be one on the basis of hard work, on experience, on, you know, trust. People you know. You don't want to subject the lives of Nigerians to experiment. Asiwaju, number one, is one of three out of the four who has been head of a government. Atiku has never been head of any government in this country.
Even as the vice president?
Is the vice president the head of a government? The vice president was never a head of a government. He was vice, not substantive holder of the position of president. So there's nothing, no testimonial for you to judge the competence or otherwise of Atiku. But if we have any testimonial to even rely on, it will be that of Obasanjo, who painted Atiku in very lurid, you know, colors. What is it? Kwankwaso was head of government in Kano. I have not had anything being ascribed to him by way of achievement or success. Peter Obi was head of the government. In fact, if you go by the things that have been said about his governance, part of it is the fact that he used state monies to invest in his private family company. You cannot entrust Nigeria to that.
Can you share with us some of the programs you have as, you know, as a group?
We would soon be unveiling a manifesto. As I'm speaking now, a think tank / resource persons group meeting is commencing now. The think tank group was put up to ensure that we get feelings from Nigerians as to what they want from the Asiwaju presidency. Time when you know, parties impose manifesto, we have reference to the electorate. But now they are saying, no, we want to change the paradigm. We want members of this think tank group to go to the nooks and crannies, to talk to Nigerians, to engage with them, to ask them what do they want. So that when the formulation is completed, we call it Rebirth Manifesto, to bring about rebirth of the Nigerian state.
You think you have the time to go around?
We will have, by the grace of God. Out of this, we have 4 vice chancellors of Nigerian universities being members. We have 10 other professors in various, you know, disciplines and from various Nigerian universities. We have 10 retired military generals, military / state security service generals who are all retired. We have professionals, men and women, we have youths, and all of that from different parts of this country. They are going to utilize their time, and we, by the grace of God, within the next 4 weeks, they would have accomplished their job.
I don't want to talk about the Muslim ticket or whatever ticket anybody has chosen, but my question to you is this. What is the acceptance or the acceptability of the person of His Excellency in the North? Even
I think it is better. What I'm saying, I'm not joking. I think his acceptability today is even much better than in the Southern land, and I'll give you my reasons. Number one, but for the total support that he had among the northern political elite, he couldn't have even won the primary election. That's number one. And that again springs from the fact that they appreciate that, but for Asiwaju Tinubu, Buhari would not have been president. I was a member of the CPC, S1 CPC. I was actually the gubernatorial candidate of CPC in 2011 when Buhari was the presidential candidate. In that election, Buhari scored 12 million votes in the north and less than 500,000 in the whole of the south. So he couldn't get the 1/4 required in two-thirds of states. If Asiwaju and his ACN had not joined, the story would have remained the same 100 times if there were elections. So the people, the political elite and lover of the north and lovers of Buhari felt a sense of appreciation, a sense of gratitude. So it was because of that that they ensured that everybody who wanted to come up in the north was prevailed upon to drop his ambition and support Asiwaju. And you know that consequently, all other aspirants from other parts of the country also stepped down for him.
My question is, what is in for the youth when this party eventually takes
Life
leadership?
more abundant. That is it.
Areas?
In the area of education, in the area of job, in the area of skills training. Over the years, we keep churning out graduates who all of what they have is just paper qualification, no skills. We are going to change that trajectory to emphasize more on skills training, whether within the universities, the polytechnics, the colleges of education, or for secondary school graduates.
Now, finally, sir, one will not talk about Nigeria currently without looking at issues concerning security. I know His Excellency Asiwaju has his own strategy to reshape the dynamics, but you are part of the campaign and you are part of the system. What are we expecting to be done differently to stop this incessant kidnapping, terrorism, banditry, and fear?
I told you that the think tank group is meeting. We have a committee on security, and I'm happy one of our chief security strategists here is a retired colonel. They are going to bring out the strategies to effectively bring an end to insecurity in the country. It is unfortunate that a lot of people who really work directly in the security sector and who have answers to this insecurity have not been properly utilized in terms of government saying, no, everybody who has worked in the security architecture, please come and give us your ideas as to how to effectively do this. It's unfortunate, but we are trying to change that to ensure that they will come up within the next 1 month, come up with the best strategy to fight insecurity.
Well, that's the program. Join us same time next week.
Wow, how time flies. This is where we draw the curtain for today's episode. Join us again same time next week. Should you miss today's broadcast, follow us on our social media platform. I am Zainab Obitin. Thanks for watching.